Hello, San Antonio and everybody around the world. This is Rita Hernandez, radio TV host and personality of Inspiration for Life Radio TV Web Network. We are broadcasting live here at Inspiration for Life Studios, live on air with Rita. Just really so excited because I have an amazing guest here with me today, and I just want to thank everybody for being a part of this broadcast. And before we do go on with every show, I like to tell everybody, if you have to get off Facebook Live, you can join us on Inspiration for Life Radio Network. Basically go to our website, which is www.inspiration4life.org, and click on Listen Live. Or you can go to my favorite app. It is TuneIn Radio. Go to TuneIn. It's one word, TuneIn Radio. And then you download that, and then you search Inspiration for Life Radio. And once you find us, put a little heart next to it, because that means once you turn on the app or open the app, we're the first thing that pops up.
There you go.
So that's the super cool app. And of course, we're like on 20 other different platforms, but to me, that's the cool app to get on. Or you can basically go to our website. So there's just a lot of different ways that you can be a part of our broadcast. But for me, you know, just being able to do this, showcasing and highlighting great people in the communities of San Antonio and hearing their stories. I like the before the scenes, because for me, it's like, okay, I get to hear a little bit more other than the basic questions that we ask. We just want to get to know each other a little bit more.
Right.
And really, you know, sharing a little bit about myself as well kind of opens up a lot of doors for both parties. And that's what I truly love about what I do, because it's more than just, you know, the broadcast. It's more than just Facebook Live. It's about the possibilities of what can happen, what's going to transpire after this takes place. Hello, everybody. Hello, Becky. So just the interviews in itself. So Sundays typically are not my media days, but I think what I'm going to end up starting to do are Sundays and Mondays are going to be my media days, which is super cool because the neighborhood is kind of quiet.
Very.
And I love it that, you know, we have a lot of you know, we still have a lot of great traffic flow, but it's not as noisy.
And it's a beautiful day.
Yes. The noisy parts come when the Via bus passes by. That's when all the noisiness happens. But
I heard that on TuneIn Radio, the app, you can't hear the bus.
Oh, there you go. You can't hear the bus. So yes. So thank you, everybody, once again. So if you have to get off Facebook Live, jump on onto our radio station. We are on 24/7 and in 147 countries around the world. So we're really, truly blessed. And not only are you going to hear him on the radio, on Facebook Live, but you're going to also be able to read his story on Inspiration for Life magazine. Woohoo! Yes. So again, just our platform is, we're able to help so many people. And I think my campaign is going to be 1 million voices. I'm probably already at 50,000 interviews by now from 2012 or 2009.
I should be interviewing you is what it should be.
Oh my goodness. You know, from 2009 when we started our you know, media part of it. But I think 1 million voices is going to be a reach, because we've already surpassed almost 12 million again throughout our radio station, because it's around the world.
You're right.
But I'm talking about just here in San Antonio. I'm just talking about San Antonio.
I'm going to go ahead and manifest that will definitely happen.
Oh my goodness. And this guy's already on fire, so I'm like, all right, God has put this right person in my path for a huge reason. But we're going to get right into that. Oh, really quick. I got a little surprise. Woohoo! I'm going to open it with y'all so y'all can see it for yourself, because I'm not sure. I was looking at, like, this guy's apron, little shirt. I was like, let me see. I'm going to put this down here. It's going to fly away because I have a fan on. Oh my goodness. What? Oh my goodness. This is so super cool.
How great was she looking at?
Oh my goodness. How did you know? For real.
In all honesty, I
real.
definitely did make that today.
Wow, for real. Okay, I guess my head is big because I'm going to put it down to the last notch. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm going to be wearing my apron.
Ooh,
Look
I
at
was
that.
right.
Look at that.
Mm.
There you go. Woohoo.
And you know what? Just thinking this right now, we might start selling those on a campaign on our website at beardiversified.com, and all proceeds will go to Inspiration for Life.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and see, and again, everybody, when you share your story, I was mentioning to him, we're going to get to his story in just a bit. He has an amazing, powerful story himself. But our journey with our media broadcasting and magazines company is really to find out and highlight your why, your true story, your passion, your giving, your love for what you do. And I have a painting up there that says, do what you love. And that's basically what it boils down to. Do what you love with all your heart and giving. And when I say, hey, honey, can you watch baby AJ today? Because I'm going to go do some broadcasting. He does not look at me like, are you kidding? He's like, go. Because he knows what the possibilities are. He knows what I don't know if you looked on my Instagram. I just put a beautiful card. He bought me a card. And I was surprised. And I opened it. He goes, congratulations on all your hard work that you've been doing with all your, your guests and the business and all this stuff. And I was like, what? He's noticing. He sees my hard work. And I was so thankful for that. So he understands. I said, I'm going to be gone for about 2.5 hours. Is that okay? He goes, go.
I had to preface to Rita prior to the show starting that I might get emotional. I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
It's okay.
I hope that you all are as well. So
and
that was already a start to it. So it's definitely going to happen.
And then we mentioned now we got to get Kleenex as one of our sponsors.
Kleenex.
Yes, we got to put the box of Kleenex. Like every time we get a little emotional.
Hashtag Kleenex.
There you go. Because we always get a little teary-eyed on the show because the stories are beyond just really answering the basic questions. It's like, we're going to share your story. So let's jump right on and let's talk a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Tell me about you.
So my name's Michael Nachebe, originally from Denver, born in Denver, Colorado. I come from a New Yorker mother, and I never met my father, but my mom has always been that father figure for me. Being a New Yorker, that was a plus. She went to Syracuse University, graduated with a linguistics degree, and then a master's in teaching and education. She moved to Denver, Colorado, where she got a student teaching job, where I was born. And about 5 years later, 95, 96, that tells you how old. I mean, you can't see the gray, but I'm in my 30s. We moved to Texas. My mom got a permanent teaching job in Aldine ISD, which is in Houston, Texas. So if you're listening from Houston, Texas, shout out.
H-Town,
That's
right?
right.
Is that what they say? H-Town?
T-I-N-E, H-Town. But yes. But yeah, being that I was raised single mother, I also had 2 siblings, older brother and sister, they're twins, a minute apart. I was extremely lucky for her to be an educator. I mean, throughout her 30 plus years, she's currently still teaching in Richardson ISD, which is in Dallas. So also shout out Dallas. She's probably taught over tens of thousands of not just kids and teens and young adults, but adults as well. She taught at Denver University. She taught at Lone Star College, also in Houston. And now she's full circle back teaching with what she loves doing, and that's kindergartners. But she always made time to implement the most useful skills that I have currently in my life, and that's that no one's better than me, but at the same time I'm not better than anybody else.
Exactly.
So she taught me hard work will always pay off, even if it doesn't seem to happen immediately, and just respect each other. I mean, we're living in a day and age. We're still kind of going through something that none of us were ready for. The only thing constant is change, or the only thing, constant is change. Yeah. So, some of the change we all had to experience was, it was difficult. In fact, my family actually quarantined at my home here in San Antonio back in March of 2020, or 2020. Yeah. And as difficult as it was having all of us under one roof, it was, brought us all closer together. And, we all those values that my mother taught us, unfortunately she couldn't be there, but we all, reestablished them and implemented them to my daughter's life. I have an 8-year-old daughter. Her name's Charlie Jane. And I have some nephews and nieces as well. But aside from that, I graduated from the University of Houston in 2011 with a bachelor's in English. Okay. And I moved to San Antonio in 2015 for a job at, I guess I'll say the company's name, Lancer Worldwide. It's a conglomerate of Hashisaki International, which based out of Japan. It's the global leader of beverage dispensing manufacturing. And my job, when I accepted it, was quality engineer technician. And what that entails, you can look up. It's pretty basic, making sure that anything that we produce as far as beverages, beverage dispensers, were within any kind of FDA regulations and anything like that. But long story short, I actually was laid off about 2 years later along with 11 other people due to a project that we couldn't fulfill the client's needs for.
Yeah.
So I was left with two options because I had to liquidate my IRA, and I could live off of it, and my mind frame at the time was, go ahead.
No, I said, hi, Lucy.
Oh, hey, there you go.
She said you're on fire.
I'm nervous as well, so thank you.
You're on fire.
Thank you. But yeah, my mindset wasn't the best. It was a dark time because I wasn't expecting it. I didn't get a severance. I mean, I got my IRA. I had to liquidate my IRA, and it was like, okay, should I live off of this money while I search for another job to get possibly laid off? It showed me the value of an employee these days in America. And my other option was an even scarier route, which was to take a leap of faith, invest in some things that I'm actually interested in, and make myself my own revenue instead of making someone else their revenue. So I'm very fortunate to have a support group that encouraged me to make that leap. And today I would like to say that I've become successful in that, and now my goal is to give back to not just this local community, but the state of Texas, and if farther possibly, if you ever see my last name on a campaign poster, please vote for me.
There you go. And it's so funny because when I first, I read, it was a while back when I reached out to you.
Yeah, right.
I read a post.
June, I believe.
Yeah, it was a post that you put out there, and I can't really recall, but I just remember that it was powerful, and I was like, oh my gosh, we got this dude is on fire, just like Lucy said.
Kleenex.
This guy is just really, and I look out for that. If you really know me, I'm the type of person that I'm the eyes and ears. I'm listening and I'm watching. And if I see somebody that does something compelling, inspiring, or just something really good, I'm gonna reach out to you and say, hey, you know what, we got to get you out there.
And she's not being completely honest. I followed her, and she immediately sent me a message. It wasn't days, weeks, months later. It was she actually checked out my Instagram, and that meant a lot to me. So
yeah, so it's really that part of letting other people know that, hey, we're watching, we're looking. And it's not just, there's no agenda behind anything. There's always the realness of capturing what needs to be shared in the moment. So I know during that time frame, things happen, and of course COVID was getting worse and all that stuff. And then I don't think the vaccines were out yet. So things are starting to get a little bit better, but still it's kind of scary. But it's like we're very careful in our journeys and stuff like that. But for myself, when I see that, when I hear that, when I find something, I said, I got to reach out. We got to make sure to make it happen. So that's our part of Inspiration for Life. And your story that you shared is a journey. It's a journey to inspire others to say, wow, now his mindset is entrepreneurial. He's in this world of where he was to how he got started. Now with that next question,
sure.
Let's talk about your business.
Sure. Yeah. When I took that leap of faith, I like to do my homework. I mean, if you're listening out there and you're a younger adult or even a teenager, listen, it's not fun, but if you are going to do something, do it right, look into it. So I started looking into, the advantages of cost, the cost of taking my savings, basically my life savings, and trying to make it not just something to live off of, but something to live with for a long period of time, and possibly, you hear the saying, oh, I want to make money when I sleep. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
And obviously, it requires, profitable revenue to stay in business. But my goal is not to be, a multi-millionaire who lives in a gated community. It's to be comfortable, have a meaningful life, be happy, which is, the main objective every day.
Yeah.
But back to the businesses. After seeing some success, I invested in some stocks, and make sure you're investing in stocks that have that pay dividends. If you're not, don't do it, or sell high, please, because if you're not getting a dividend, your money's just sitting there, and that's just an investment tip. That I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, but that's what helped me the most, because I would see a return on a quarterly basis, and that really helped pay, the light bill, or if you're in San Antonio, SAWS. So, but the revenue from the proceeds that I started seeing from these different investments, I invested in some used auto vehicles. I would try to source them for cheap, and then like mechanic specials. I'm not an engineer by degree, like I told you, I'm an English major. But as I grew up and got older, and my dryer would break down, or the refrigerator or the freezer would be frozen or something, I figured, why shell out hundreds of dollars for someone else to come and fix it for me when I can just open it up myself, figure out what's wrong, probably find the parts cheaper locally, and fix it myself. So that's where the engineer mindset came from, and that's how I figured out how to work on vehicles. My first vehicle I worked on was a BMW. So that being said, from there on it was a lot easier. But I would do a lot of buy, fix, and owner finance, or buy, fix, drive them for a while as a vehicle for day to day, and then as I posted them, and then I was in no rush to get money back on them, so I'd wait until I got an offer that I wanted. So and that was fair. This is another thing: do not prey on the weak if you're trying to stay on your feet, because that's just going to lead to. I'm a firm believer in what goes around will definitely come back around, and it's from experience. So, but that being said, the profitability, instead of shopping or being a consumer, I started an actual entity. Like I went through the Secretary of State, filed my articles of formation. I have a company called Bear Diversified Services, which is a graphic design, web development, and web-based solutions company. And mind you, I had no idea how to do any of that when I started. So another piece of advice is to, if you're sitting in a position where you're making money but you're content or you're complacent, just try something. I mean, let yourself be vulnerable, because failing sucks, but it happens, and it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. But so from there, I have a couple other ventures under the umbrella of the entity that I started, BDS, Bear Diversified Services, of which is Bexar Trap Apparel. If for anyone who's not local, this is not Bexar. There you go. It's Bear. That's the county that we're in. And I was looking for I'm from Houston originally. So if you go to Houston and you're looking for some kind of urban wear or street apparel that's, culturally infused with popular culture as well, local and popular culture, you'll find it galore. But I saw an untapped market here. So, that's the goal of Bear Trap. It's a local, culturally influenced street apparel brand, and we're growing. We have shorts now.
That's cool.
We do koozies, obviously. The majority of our sales are from local markets or pop-ups, but online. If you're someone who is a graphic designer and you're sitting at home and you're wondering how to turn your skill into a profit, start one single design can set you into the right path. All you have to do is just set up what's called a POD, a print-on-demand service. So beartrap.com, you can find all of our designs and our t-shirts. There's duffel bags, cups, and fanny packs, which I'm going to go ahead and say I brought fanny packs back about 2014. So if you're claiming that you did, stop it. But yeah, the POD has been very helpful in during the pandemic, especially because I wasn't working, and the investments that I just named were very stagnant, and to see a passive return on something that I didn't have to keep any inventory. I didn't have to handle any logistics. I currently don't have to handle. The only issue with it is if you're trying to see a higher margin and you want to make your own clothing apparel line. I mean, it's not a bad way to start, but if you know what you're doing, feel free. It's a lot more money in it. But that's why I love this city, because I get DMs on my Instagram from all kinds of directors of markets and pop-up, hey, would you like to be at this market? In fact, we'll get into that later. But another one of the, I would say, sub companies that's under the BDS umbrella is the Clever Cultivator, which also started during the pandemic. I had my daughter and my two nephews, my brother's sons. My daughter was 7 at the time, and my nephews were 9 and 14. And we had one cedar box in our backyard that we produced some jalapenos and some herbs and stuff. But my brother actually was the one that came up with the idea. He's like, well, the hardware stores are back open. Why don't we see if we can build the kids a garden, and they can till around in. And it actually turned into something that we went through the comptroller and put a DBA, a doing business as, underneath the Bear Trap, or the Bear Diversified umbrella, and what that is a turnkey planter box system. And anyone from if you live in the affluent areas of town where you have a large home and you want a large box, we have those. If you live in an apartment and there's not a lot of space on your patio, you can still grow your own herbs, vegetables, fruit, whatever. And our kits come with growing medium that it's a homemade growing medium consisting of coconut quarry, and it's pre-nuded with only organic nutrients, and then you can pick your own bulbs and things like that. But in fact, some of the smaller ones for the apartment dwellers come with wheels or casters, so you can move it from one side or the other, depending on where the sun is. But one of our newest ventures is a abstract art company, or actually an abstract artist by the name of Brianna Flores. She's local as well. She's out of Goliad, Texas, and she found success way before we ever, did any kind of services for her. But she's extremely, extremely talented. She doesn't even do it for a living, but she makes a living off of it. Can make a bigger living off of it. But her art is fantastic. In fact, the goal, and I see it just like I manifested your 1 million here locally. I manifest the fact, if you ever go to like a hotel, Emma, Zaza, any kind of boutique hotel, in 5 years, I guarantee you'll see her work on those walls.
There you go.
But we're really excited about that. Abstractbybrie.com. She's actually here with us today.
Yay! Well, we do have spots for featured artists, so you can put your art.
It will go quick. It will go quick. She does a lot of. See, I'm not in the art game. What is it when someone requests an art? A lot of commission art, and you can find collectors and just art fanatics around the state and internationally that have requested her services. And in fact, I'm also looking into becoming a canvas provider, like building canvases, because like I said, why go buy when you can make it? So you should always be thinking like that, by the way, because if someone else can make it, so can you. But yeah, that's the current ventures that we have. Oh, I would like to give one quick shout out, if you don't mind.
No, go for it.
Terry French of Wiser.com, WXYZER. He's the owner of the Tap In. I'm sure you've seen it around town. If you've ever on the East Houston Tech Corridor, you'll see him riding around in a Segway. You need to go check him out. And he's got another company called Banner Bike, which is I want to say it's if you're a bicyclist and you are gonna ride anyway, why not get paid? It's basically advertisement via bicycle, and this city ranks third on the list in the nation for bicycles. That's how this happened. But I'm trying not to keep it in the shot, but it's going to happen. But yeah, that's where we're at currently.
And with everything that you just stated, you know, again, that's a powerful thing to be able to bring other businesses and, you know, collaborations and working together. I think to me that's truly amazing. And when people come to our place, that's exactly what we represent here as well. You know, we have featured artists, featured musicians. We have like 5 or 6 other different businesses that are all housed under here. You know, we try to do that on a monthly basis because we don't want it to just be about us.
I did not get here on my own, so I agree with that.
I agree with all of that. So now, when did all this start, and why did you start your business?
So, like I said, getting laid off was terrifying.
Yeah.
It was abrupt. It was, you know, I'm not of this mindset any longer, but I was of the mindset that this is unfair. Why me? You know, I moved here, I bought a house here. I still have a mortgage. I have a car note. I have an additional mouth to feed aside from my own.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was hard. But
and I agree with all of that. You know, with everything of your why. That's why I tell people, what is your main message? I mean, you have to have a main message of doing this. I mean, even if it's as simple as the people that tell me, I did it during the pandemic because there was nothing else to do and I had to figure out something to do at home. So we had a lot of crafters,
right.
A lot of people sewing, a lot of people making things. So that became a huge, huge thing. So now we have a lot of beautiful boutiques all over San Antonio.
Love it.
So like with your main message, why did you start? What inspired you for all this with the message?
I wasn't too keen on the local business or small business owner concept. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to make sure that the children under the household that I provided, including the adults as well, that when not being able to go to school, I couldn't imagine that. I mean, I went to all, 12 years of school, and then I graduated. It took a long time to graduate from college, but I went there. And to have a year off without any kind of notification, without any kind of, being told when you're going back, but still having to, and as an adult trying to teach them at the same time, and the news was on way more than it usually was, and the George Floyd incident sparked a lot of news stories that were pretty vivid, and children see that and they ask you the question why. Why are people protesting? Why are police wearing riot gear? And it's not an easy answer. So basically, we went to, when Walmart opened back up, we went to Walmart and got what are called t-shirt like transfer papers, which are they don't last. I'll put it like that. But at the time, it was a great message and a great way to teach the message. My daughter's favorite book is, or at the time, her series of books was called Phoebe and the Unicorn. And the author of that book, after just a quick Google search, had made a strip that had Phoebe and her unicorn, and it said Black Lives Matter on it. So that was the first shirt we made. And then the second shirt we made was a James Baldwin shirt for myself. And then my brother's boys made their own shirts. There was a Cassius Clay shirt. They picked their favorite way to represent the fact that equality, it does not have any kind of boundaries, or it's not exclusive to one group or one type of person, or just even gender. I mean, especially gender. But that, I think, was the way we taught the message. I think the message was positive enough. If you don't agree with it, I'm sorry, but if you do, then thank you. And then also, we wanted to teach horticulture, so that's where the planter box came in. We did some other things to keep them active. We made some ice cream from scratch and stuff like that. But I mean, it wasn't an easy time for anybody. I mean, we all know that. But that being said, once I made those shirts, I was addicted. So what I started doing, I actually started a DBA called Humble Pie Design Co., which was going to be a custom t-shirt company, and that was one of the failures that I mentioned earlier, and I fell on my face with that one. In fact, I remember the comptroller calling me requesting that I pay taxes on that. So, and I was not LLC'd under that. So, luckily, they worked with me. I told them I wasn't profitable, and then, I took that as a learning. This is another thing. If you're listening to me right now and you take W's and L's or L's and W's, please know that the W is definitely for a win, and everyone likes those. But you don't take them all the time. But if you can change your mindset from an L as a loss to a learn, then you're gonna do just fine in life, because losses are just like shame or guilt. I think they're preposterous. They put people in a mindset of negativity. And I wake up every day, I don't leave the house in a negative mood. I can't do it because I have too much to be grateful for. Yeah. So from there, Bear Trap has spawned into the POD website that generates revenue passively, and then the local markets. And I'm very grateful for the local markets because it's given us a platform so we can get to a point where we can really, really give back. So
your message altogether, you basically have a lot to say. You have a lot to say.
Oh yeah.
So my mind's already rolling. Like, I think he's just going to be a continued guest to be a part.
I hope so. Thank you.
You know, I'm always looking for.
Talking too much.
No, it's the message, the inspiration behind everything. I think is what is powerful. Did we lock the door? Hello. How are you?
Welcome. Beautiful store, isn't
it? Come on in. So basically, with the message that we have a shopper in the house, everybody, yay!
This is a beautiful store. If you haven't been here before, I've been diagnosed as a child with a little bit of ADHD. It probably was going to be a lot more difficult than it was for me to get this interview done completely without just scatterbraining. But that being said, the question of the main message and the purpose of the business, I'll start with the purpose, and that's the easiest one to answer. And I get asked it a lot, actually, believe it or not. And I just wanted to spend more time with my daughter. So if you're working, you're probably generating revenue to pay. If your child's not in school yet, you're probably paying, or you're working to pay for child care. Now, I was one of those dads. So luckily I, was compensated properly until I was laid off. But, to spend more time with your children and generate revenue is a blessing. That's an easy one. Now, my message is, so like I said, I'm not looking to be a millionaire. I mean, if I am, hopefully I can give enough of it away that someone else will.
That's my goal. If I become a millionaire, I'm going to continue to help less people. That's. If
I have enough, if I have more than enough, and I drive, walk, whatever, by someone who has nothing, shame on me. So that's not the purpose of any of my ventures, or my message at least. In fact, I make it a point, and I know people say when you stop at a light and a homeless person or a shelterless person is there, and don't give them money, they're going to spend it on something, give them food, this and that. I mean, if my daughter's in the back seat, I'm giving them money because I want her to see that person is equal to me. Yeah. So, in fact, I met a gentleman at a very long red light. I was by myself. My daughter wasn't in the car, and he had been a very successful architect, and he had his own firm, and he was happily married. They didn't have any children, but they were like head over heels for each other. He's late 50s, and she suddenly passed away. And alcoholism is something that a lot of people in this country, a lot of people locally suffer from. And he turned to drinking. He lost his firm, and he ended up on that corner. So the message for that is just, it can happen to anyone. So don't look at anybody on the corner, no matter how inebriated they may seem, or how desperate, or even if they just seem, whatever you think, you don't know them. So don't do that. In fact, if you're ever comparing yourself to anybody and you feel you're better than them, I haven't cursed yet, so I won't. But just know that you don't compare yourself to yourself yesterday, not anyone else today. Yeah. So, but hopefully, when this takes off, I hope to have a large enough platform, because my main objective is our justice system is completely shattered, and we house. Let's just put it this way. The United States has 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's prison population. That's not okay. Now, almost every major issue that was debated during the elections or the primaries, or even currently right now. If you do some root cause analysis, like I said, I was a quality engineer. You know, root cause analysis is something I did a lot. Just ask yourself why, until you get to that root cause. And always, for me, it ends up the justice system is broken, and it's not just broken; it's shattered. And you know, it starts with the juvenile system. I think it's 43% of all inmates currently in the state of Texas started off in a juvenile detention center, where the youngest child I've heard is 13 years old. We're putting children in prison, so that's not okay with me. And then, you know, we're basically telling them they're not worth anything. I would never tell my child that. So, and no baby has ever come out of the womb, you know, a murderer or a thief. It's all learned. So, and my message to parents is, if you're having children, if you're having any offspring, period, whether you're doing it on your own or you're doing it as a together, or maybe you have like you're partnering, whatever your case may be, just please realize that child between the ages of 1 and 8 is soaking up everything you teach them, and that is how they become who they become. But that being said, the main problem with our justice system is the prison system. The BOPs, which is the Bureau of Prisons, and all local county, most local county jails are either owned or operated by one of two companies, and I'm not afraid to say their names. It's Geo Group or CCA. In fact, every ICE facility in the nation is owned by Geo Group. So when you see the stories about children being separated from their parents at the border, or put in cages, thank Geo Group for that, because they're for profit, which I don't understand how you can have that. And it no longer is a corrections program. It's more of a detention, or in my eyes, it's out of sight, out of mind, because I can't really blame people for not understanding the problem when they don't see it in the community, because we house them in a very inhumane way. And you know, they sign contract. Bear County has a contract, or had a contract with CCA at a 90% bed occupancy level for a 20-year contract. It luckily ended right before I moved here, but can you imagine that they mandate the quota, every 90% of all beds in the jail have to be filled. So how do you do that? You train cadets from the academy to, you know, go after low-hanging fruit, people that aren't violent, people that have mental illnesses, people that, you know, if you fall asleep at the bus stop after hours, you are legally trespassing, which they can search you if you have a substance abuse issue and you have drugs on you. Boom, you're a bed filler. You're a digit in the system, and that's not okay. And the thing is, if the quota is up here 90% and crime fluctuates, I don't understand it. I mean, if someone else can explain it to me, I'm all ears. But
I think with all that, your passion for you know, everything you've stated is, I can already see what you said earlier. You know, running for campaign. You know, campaign. You see your name out there, vote for you. You have a lot of passion. You have a lot of thought and education to really share those messages. And it's like, you know, I'm always looking for the co-host to really come on and share and talk about these things. We literally are here to talk about every different types of, you know, avenues to put it out there with the message, and that's very important. That's very important, and I appreciate, you know, your passion for all that, because there's a lot of things and topics that we can just go on, and it's important that we have to do, you know, talk about these things. You know, we've had issues talk about sexual abuse and mental health awareness, and you know, sex trafficking. So there's a whole bunch of issues out there that we can get into, and it's powerful stuff. So I do commend you for really putting your heart out there and sharing that, because again, it really shows your passion and your education for yourself, but also for your business. And I think that's something that the story going back, because all of this that you're hearing, you're not just going to be listening to here. You're going to be able to read all of this. So all the full story is going to be in the magazine. So
I appreciate that.
We can get that message out there. So it's again a powerful tool that we're able to do this, and yeah, I truly thank you for that. You know?
Just to cap it off, Bear Trap is also, we just started this a few weeks ago because we saw a story on, all of the news networks really, but I saw it on Instagram, an individual named Anthony. I don't want to butcher your name, Anthony, but I believe it's Guitro. He's a veteran, and he purchased a Camaro, a 2021 Camaro C8, and he posted. He was giving rides for birthdays during the pandemic, but when he found out school was going back into session, he put on Facebook a little deal where he was going to give, he would pick someone to give them a ride to their first day back to school, and he chose a teenager by the name of Marcus, who suffers from autism and social anxiety, and when I saw that, I was like, finally, like there's not a news story that's like, X amount of people shot on this side of town, or the things that make you want to just turn the TV off. And that was something that I reached out to him. I found him on Instagram, reached out to him. I wasn't trying to gain any kind of influence or add followers by it. I just wanted him to know that I appreciated what his generosity had meant to the community, and that kind of it's snowballing. Our second week was Lionel Sosa, who actually lives right down the street. And if you're not familiar with his art, he's a San Antonio native, Mexican American, and he is responsible for Living in My Skin, which is a spotlight on San Antonio African Americans making an influence in the city. And there's a huge mural between the Tobin Center and Tobin Garage that I'm very happy no one's defaced at all, but hopefully it'll stay up for a very long time, if not forever. So he was week 2. And this week, we had Hector Menchaca, who started a t-shirt company that's called Give More. Dapper Custom Tees is really the company, but he has a nonprofit or a charitable company called Give More Everyday, and he's working with Overcomers, which is a breast cancer survivor nonprofit that assists with the financial needs of survivors, the mental health of survivors. And my mother, beat cancer, so that's why we're doing it.
Wow, that's all powerful stuff. And I know with everything that you're saying, and you've mentioned yourself, you've mentioned your daughter, you've mentioned your brothers. Do you have a team or a staff that helps you with all this?
Growing up, let me put it this way. I have a lot of acquaintances. I have always, made friends easily, but I don't know. I just always made my circle a dot. I figured less was more, and that please don't do that. Let yourself be vulnerable, and not unfortunately, but just as of right now, I say we and us a lot, but it's really just a team of myself and another individual who helps out with the graphic design and some of the markets that we do. But if you're listening and you're local and it's hard to find good help, but if you're interested, please, there's plenty of ways to reach me.
I was going to say, on that note, how do they get a hold of you?
Sure, yeah. So Bear Diversified Services, we office out of 110 East Houston. We're on the 7th floor, Suite 14. There's a lot of COVID restrictions in the building still, which is,
being safe.
Right, for sure. We prefer that you call ahead, but we take walk-ins as long as you're sticking to the COVID mandates. You can reach us at beardiversified.com. You can also reach me at beartrap.com or either of those .coms with my name in front, Michael at BEXAR, diversified.com, or Michael at BEXARTRAP.com. And then our office number is 210-446-7335. I will not give you my personal number. I get a lot of spam. Yeah. And then also our newest venture, abstractbybree.com. Wait till Monday on that one. It's not a landing page per se. It's more of a website that we built to showcase our abilities. But soon enough, if you're looking for art by her, there'll be a format in which you can either contact her or just let us know what kind of art you're trying to get, and that's the way to reach her.
Awesome.
And also, she has an Instagram. Our Instagram is Bexar Trap Apparel at Bear Trap Apparel. No co on the end, just at Bear Trap Apparel. We do not have a Instagram for Bear Diversified, which is probably not going to happen, and just because until I find someone who can help me out with some of this social media marketing. You see, this is how it works. But yeah, I'm looking for some help. So if you think you qualify, and I'm not looking for, a Harvard graduate. You don't even need a degree. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even know how to do it before I started. So if you're someone with a positive attitude who wakes up every day and knows that everything they have, no matter what it is, they're grateful for, you're probably gonna fit. So that's I'll leave it at that.
Well, do you have any special offers?
Oh,
and I know
always.
you
You
say
know what?
you have something about a newsletter also.
Oh yeah, so on beartrap.com, you scroll down to the bottom, you can sign up for the newsletter, and if you're local, you'll find out where our future events are. We usually do a first Friday at Brick, but I just found out that she hosts a market as well, so who knows, we might be here instead or both, who knows. Might have to get a new tent. But we also do, we just started doing at the new Legacy Park, which is right next to the new Frost Bank Tower, which is right next to our building, my building, on East Houston and Maine. Second and fourth Saturdays between, I believe it's 11 and 5. Check Instagram on that. Or if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll be notified as to those. And then we also just started Sundays at Smoke Barbecue Sky Lounge, and those are going to be from noon to 5. And one last single event, October 16th. I forget the location. You just have to check Instagram, follow us on Instagram. It's a Harley Davidson event, and the location is it's not to be determined. I don't remember where it is. But we'll be there.
And we'll put all those dates and
sure.
all the follows and how to get a hold of you and stuff like that.
And hopefully at some of these, hopefully all of them, but I don't know what they'll allow, we'll have some of the Abstract by Bree paintings there for at least display, if not for sale.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, you were going to show us something that we're going to do something.
If you were the one that put that fire emoji, I kind of want you to win, but I have a couple shirts here. This is one of our OG logos. It's a Bear Trap, and it says Bear Trap Apparel Co. And then this one is a newer design that we just, it's not on the website yet. I'm sorry, it's not on the website yet either. But check the website next week. We have at least 4 or 5 new designs that we're gonna have on there. But I'm gonna leave these with Rita, and she can decide who.
And we're going to do an Instagram giveaway. So I'm going to put all that information. You're going to have to jump on Instagram, and you're going to end up having to follow and all this great stuff. So I'm going to put all the information about the contest, the giveaway that I'm going to probably do later on today or tomorrow. And we'll get that going. We've got those amazing prizes. So.
Lastly, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Whatever platform you're tuning in on, thank you. I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. And if you can, pick up the magazine. So
yes,
because there's some things I didn't mention that you might find interesting, and I hope that I made some kind of positive impact on your Sunday.
And there's more to come with you.
100%.
I can already see he's co-host material, so we're definitely going to bring you back on. And I hope
so. I look forward to it.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much, and thank you, Brianna. Correct? Yes, Brianna. You want to come in and just give a little wave? She's like, ah.
Oh, she's also wearing a brand new design that we. If you're a Deadhead, or if you know who the Grateful Dead are, this is a rendition of their Dancing Bear shirt on tie-dye.
It's cute.
So that'll be on the website as well. But any of our local pop-ups will have plenty of those there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody. For more information, you can go to www.inspiration4life.org and click on the contact if you have any other questions. And thank you once again to all of our listeners that are tuning in. This is Rita Hernandez. Get inspired, be inspired, stay inspired. Bye.